Yo, Squint Squad. I can't even do my normal intro that I normally do. Yo, today is the worst day I've had in a long time. And you know, I usually come into these videos with like extra excitement. But yo, today is a prime example of when you're trying to elevate to the next level, the devil. It is nothing but the devil. The devil will do anything in its power to like hold you back. And it's always like right soon as you about to like go on to the next level. Tell me why. Today I'm supposed to be going to take my NCLEX. You know, I studied, did all of that.
To the last, click of the rollie, niggas they know me, on the corner drinking a 40, spicking them honey, grabbing my dick, kitchen for coney, niggas can step, get wet up like laundry, for throwing shade like a palm tree, I'm in the projects, waiting for this pissy elevator,
Squint Squad, what is good, guys? You already know who it is. It's me, it's your boy, Squints, and I know you seen that little clip that I put on earlier, but that day, oh my God, that's not how the day turned out, but I just didn't want to like throw away the footage, and I had it, so I figured I'd just add it on so you can see like the big turnaround. But that particular day, I was going to take my NCLEX, and when I say the devil supposedly, no, not supposedly, the devil shows his face when you're about to make a step to the next level. And what I mean by that, or what I meant by that particular day, was that I was going to take the NCLEX. You know, to put everything into perspective, I was going to take the NCLEX, and my test was scheduled to be at 8 in the morning. You know, so I did my studying. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. You know, it's like I'm confident. So I Googled the night before, and from where my home is to Pearson View, the place where you take the test, which is in Norwalk, that's the one I took it in Connecticut, is a 20-minute ride. So 20 minutes, I'm like, all right, you know, I can leave, like I was gonna leave like an hour in advance, you know, just to give myself enough time. So I left my house at 6:45 to be there for 8. I should have looked at the news, but I didn't. But apparently it was black ice. You know, when I say it made the roads so slippery, there was accidents after accidents. Anywhere you went, it was an accident. I got on the Merritt Parkway. When I say the Merritt, I've never seen a highway stand still, like not move at all for forever. You know, so I got off the exit. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take the side roads. You know, so when I get on the side roads, all I see are cars sliding, spinning around. You know, every car is pulled over to the side of the road, and you know, you're wondering like, what's going on? Why are you guys like just pulled over to the side? These cars, they're scared. And the GPS, every direction it sent me was down a side road, down a hill or something, and I couldn't go nowhere. When I say I did like a whole circle getting on the highway just to be like right down the block from where I'm sitting right now, literally, like right down the block, just further on down. It was like ridiculous, you know. So I'm like, all right, you know, you see the car sliding. I'm like, all right, I got my little piece of crap car, but it's all-wheel drive. So we're gonna get to this destination. We're gonna get to where we gotta get. I have to take this test. So after going around the world, going through Westport, you know, Westport and everything, I end up only in Westport, which is 6 exits away from my house, you know, by 8:30. You know, so from 6:45 to 8:30, I only traveled about 10 minutes. You know, if the highway was clear, 10 minutes, 15 minutes the most. That's the furthest I traveled in two hours. You know, so I'm like, damn, this test is at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I can reschedule it. You know, so I decide, all right, I'm gonna chalk it up. This wasn't supposed to happen today. Maybe I wasn't ready to take this test. And this was God's way of saying, don't take it right now. Or this was the devil saying, you're not gonna take this test. You're definitely not gonna take it. I'm gonna put every obstacle in your way so you don't take this test. So I pull over I decide, let me go get some coffee. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna just chalk it up. I'm gonna pay the extra $150 to take the test again. And that's it. It'll give me an extra, week or two to study. So I pull over, I get my coffee. One of my friends, she said, call a place. So mind you, it's like 8:45 and I still have another, according to the GPS, another 30 minutes to go to get to my destination. So I called the place and they're like, oh yeah, it was bad, we was aware of it, so we decided to do a late start. So if you can get here by 9 o'clock, you can still take your test. Mind you, it's 8:45 now. So I'm like, either way, I'm screwed. I'm not taking this test, but I already made up. I'm gonna go reschedule it. So I get home, I finally get home, and something said, call again. So I called the place one more time and a different lady picked up. No, it was a man the first time. A lady picked up. She would just, I explained the whole situation. I'm like, I don't know the process of rescheduling this test, but X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to know if I'm gonna be charged again or I can just reschedule it. And her response was, come on, come take the test. I'm like, what? It's like 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock now. It's like, come take the, she's like, yeah. Only 4 people showed up to take the test. So I'm like, oh, serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, bet. I jumped right back in this car and I got there as fast as I could. And when I got in, the process, it was just 1, 2, 3. I came in, had to scan my palm. They made me go to the bathroom before I came in to wash my hands, scan my fingers, scan my palm, and I was in taking the test. And when I say that NCLEX, it was, I'm not gonna say it was the hardest test I ever took. When you take the your exit exam to get out of nursing school, it's usually, it's much harder. I want to say on the exit exam was much harder, and the ATIs that the school had you take, they were much harder than the actual NCLEX. And it's you heard that all throughout school that the NCLEX is not that hard. But the way the school makes it seem is oh, the NCLEX is the hardest test you'll ever take. You need to know this, you need to know that, you need to know this, you need to know that, you need to know this. And it for most students, it's that's really it'll shake you up. But I want to say for me, on my test, because I know everyone's test is different. I got, med questions, and honestly, a lot of the meds I've never even heard of. But they usually tell you, this med is, this person's taking this med for X, Y, and Z. And then they'll say, I got a lot of what statement would indicate that a follow-up has to be made. So for anyone who's still in school, when a follow-up has to be made, it's similar to which statement lets you know that the teaching has not been effective. Those are they just reworded it, but that's the same question. So I got a lot of those, and I guess I got those right. I got a lot of education questions, oh, so-and-so was going for this, what statements would select all that applies. So I had a lot of med education, side effects, not outright oh, the side effects of this med is X, Y, and Z, but it's this statement would be, what statement would you teach? Don't take this on an empty stomach, or stuff like that. That was a lot of questions that I got. I got a lot of ethic questions, so which action is, actually one was oh, person was being sued by a patient for this, which documentation would be, put it in the nurse's favor, so they won't get sued. Then I had one saying that what statement would be in the patient's favor, which documentation. So you had 4 different documentations and which one would best, suit what was going on. So I got a lot of those, and select all that applies. And my fiance told me that the select all that applies. Those are the ones that hold the most weight. And I got to about, I want to say question 134. You know, and the whole time, like once I got past 80, you know, because I went in there going like, all right, 75 questions were done, we're out of there. But it was when I got in there and the questions were going up, the only thing I could think is like, just shut off. Just shut off. I click the next one, just shut off. Before I go to the next one, close my eyes, just shut off, please, just shut off. Like I wanted this test to shut off so bad. You know, and it's like, now that I'm thinking about it, it could have shut off for two reasons. You know, either I did too bad or I did like really well. Not really well, because I was like 136. But then after 136, you know, they have like experimental questions, like 30 questions. They let you know, like, these questions don't count towards your score, but still try as best as you could. And when I say those questions were like case studies, you know, they gave you a scenario. Then you had to, based on the scenario, pick the diagnosis out of a list of diagnoses. Then you had to pick two things that you would follow up on. And it was just like, yo, I feel sorry for the people that these questions come into play. You know, because those were hard, you know. But at that point, I'm like, all right, they told me these don't count. So, hey, you know, so now I finished the test. I get out there. I'm like, all right, I'm relieved. Now we're just waiting on results. So I tried the trick, you know, when you like reschedule a test, if it lets you reschedule. So the result I got was your results are being held. So it's like I couldn't gauge it that way. And then I want to say like 2 days later, you know, Friday, I took the test on Wednesday, the 5th. That Friday, when I got home from work, I was able to purchase the results, you know, early results, unofficial results. It says like these are the unofficial results, but whether you pass or fail, you still can't practice as a nurse just yet. You just got the results. So you got to wait for them to send you your result, the nursing number. But I want to say, like, I closed my eyes and I paid the $7.90, I think it was like pretty much $8, you know, and I passed. You know, I did this whole story just to say I passed my NCLEX and I'm so relieved. You know, like, you don't even know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you do know if you're in nursing school, but just to be finished, you know, it was like, it's a wonderful feeling. You know, it's just the best feeling ever to know that you took a bad situation like COVID, where the world was in shambles pretty much. You did something and you saw it all the way through. Like, that has to be like one of the best feelings ever. You know, if you haven't experienced that feeling, like, I'm letting you know, that's one of the best feelings ever, to like just see something all the way through. And then for me personally, it's like I've always had a habit of starting something and not finishing. Like, for example, I went to trucking school. I watched everyone else fail. Like, a lot of people fail inside the class that I was in. I took the exam on my first try, passed it. Drove to California to wait for my trainer, and I was just like, you know what? This is not what I want to do. Just went cold feet, and just brought myself back home. So it's like I've always had like an issue of like starting and not finishing, and I can't do that, you know, anymore. I would never like achieve anything in like life if I have that mentality. And just to know that I finished this, I set my mind to it, and I got it done, is like good enough for me. And also the fact like I can come home for now and just come home. You know, I don't have to open a book. I don't have to worry about an exam. I don't have to worry about failing something. It's just like, I'm a nurse now. You know, I go to work, come home, and I have time to be with my family. But what's next for me? I think that I'm just gonna work right now. Like, I wanna, you know, now that I'm out in the field, it's like eventually I wanna go back for my RN. But right now it's like I wanna work, you know, and, you know, get some experience under my belt just so I can see a few things, because honestly, what you learn in school is not what's the real world, you know. So it's like I want to get some experience under my belt before I go back and, you know, be the RN. I feel like now things are starting to click that should have clicked in school, and it's clicking now. You know, I feel like for me, you know, you have to be in certain situations for things to start recalling information. Because for a while, I couldn't recall anything. Like if you asked me, what's this? It was like, I don't know. But now it's like when I'm in those situations, like information just flows back to your head. So I say all this just to say, like, if you're in nursing school right now, and we all know nursing school is hard as hell. If you're in nursing school, just keep going, push yourself. You know, it'll be done. You know, once it's done, it's like you can either stop there or you can either just like keep going. There's like a lot of options, possibilities once you have that license. And one of my instructors, she just drilled that in my head. It's like she took a liking to me, maybe because she was black, I was a black man. You know, not a lot of black men are in nursing. Not a lot of men are in nursing, period. So the fact that I was a guy, you know, I guess I reminded her of her son. She took a real liking to me, and she just like broke down a lot of things, like all the possibilities that I can do. Me and my fiance, we can do together. She's an RN, you know, so I'm just entering the field. But yeah, that's it, guys. Oh, and I'm filming on my GoPro. So if you did enjoy this little video, my little rant, you know, explaining the other video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment, you know, what's your, I don't know. I'll put something in the description. But yeah, like I said, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, turn that notification bell on so you know when I post a video, and I believe that's it. All right, guys. Peace.